Hey everyone, this is Cassandra Lambert, also known as C Love, and today I have the amazing Chelsea Gay with me. She just went through the 8-week Pain into Power program, and she would like to share her experience with you. Chelsea, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Chelsea, and I recently moved from San Francisco, where I was for the past 8 years, and had met Cassandra. And I moved back to my hometown in Houston. So it's been kind of a roller coaster now with all new changes, not to mention the whole COVID thing that we've been going through. So it's a lot of shakeups and new places, and I've been really glad to have Cassandra in my corner to help me through this transformation.
For sure. It's been so fun to be with you too in this 8-week transformation and just be a part of your journey, changing chapters and locations. What would you say like what brought you to the program? What were the things you were experiencing that got you to even come on board?
Yeah, so when I left San Francisco, it was because it was time. I was in a really dark place. I was really unhappy. I was going through depression. My anxiety was bad. I was living alone. I was drinking a lot, and I was just really unhappy. And I couldn't see the future, and I couldn't see a way out. And so I made the decision to move back to Texas to be closer to family, and just get more support there because I was really alone. And I'd been working with a therapist before I came over here for over a year. And with the laws changing between Texas and California, I couldn't work with that same therapist. So as I was back in Texas and ready to make some changes, I started working with a new therapist, and we had done 2 sessions, and it was just like I knew I was going through this big change right now, and I didn't have time to tell somebody all of my backstory and just air it out. I knew I needed action, I needed tools. I had also decided at this time that I was going to quit drinking. And so I knew I needed support, and I didn't need to talk with somebody about every little thing. I needed help. And I needed somebody to help coach me through. So, after some really disastrous therapy sessions, I reached out to Sea Love, and she told me about our program. And I'm so grateful that the universe led us together to do this because it's been such an amazing experience. And the transformations that I've had are just incredible. And I'm so grateful to looking back on where I was before I started. I can't even believe it. I feel like it's a completely different person. So it's been quite the journey, and it's only the first step. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. What would you say some of the breakthroughs were, or what were some of the things that you were struggling with before Pain into Power? So people can better understand your journey, and then maybe what are some of the wins that you got as a result of working with me?
Yeah, so I think kind of I touched on a little bit about deciding to quit drinking, and I think I was drinking a lot to suppress emotions and trauma and things that hadn't been resolved, and using that as an escape rather than trying to fix myself. I had really bad depression, anxiety, just like there was a lot of things going on. I just didn't feel like I had control of my life. Um, and so it was, it's kind of like a sink, like a hole that you're just like a black hole, and you're just sinking down and getting lower and lower. And it's really hard to get out. So it was a really dark time, but I'm really glad that this program has given me tools that have helped me take control of my life again. Like I feel like I have the power, and I've learned so much that, that nobody else gets to make the choices for me. Nothing else. Like I make all my own decisions, and I control what I can control.
Huh?
There's a lot that's out of my control, but there are things that I can, and that are directly related to my happiness.
Yeah. What would you say some of the prices you were paying, or consequences as a result of like drinking or not being able to work through your traumas? Especially because you were in therapy, right? So and you had been, what would you say the differences between this program and therapy, for one? And then what were some of the prices you were paying in your life, either with your health and body or also like with family or friends?
Yeah, so I think therapy was great for me at the time in the way that I was able to kind of be more aware of challenges that I was having, but yet I wasn't working through them, and I wasn't making really I was bringing it all up, and it was here, and then it was heavy. You just heavy energy sitting around you and nothing really to do with that. You're just sitting in it. And so like with it made it easier, I think, when we started our program because I kind of had an idea of different things like that were affecting me. Um, and then as far as like my depression and my anxiety and how that was weighing on it, um, just number one, like not being able to accomplish anything, even the smallest task seemed overwhelming. And, that affected everything in my life, like moving progress forward and, just it affected relationships with friends and family, like not being I just felt like there was a piece of me that was just hidden that I couldn't be myself with. And I think I was hiding that from my own self too, that I don't even know. I just didn't feel like I was being myself and I didn't even know who that person was. And I think another thing too is that I was getting in cycles and patterns of, toxic behavior and bringing in toxic relationships and that all attracts each other. And like each relationship that you don't heal from, you the universe brings you another one that's even worse than the one before. And so it's just like building on these toxic behaviors and patterns to show you the way. And if you don't face it, if you don't deal with it, the universe really smacks you hard with it. And it's you have to be able to do it. And I think your program has like having you as by my side to help me like show me the way has been so valuable because you have to do the work on your own. It's something that you have to wake up and you decide that this isn't going to be how you live your life anymore. My story is not going to end with I got hurt. It's so much more than that. And so it was so nice to have you with me to help show me the way and guide me. You didn't do the work for me, but definitely helping me figure that out on my own.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And you did do the work, right? And so now you're reaping the benefits of it. What would you say your biggest wins were, or even your biggest breakthroughs were in the process?
Well, number one, sobriety, and not drinking, and it not even being a factor. To me anymore. I think that it's like instead of, thinking about drinking and wanting to do that, I know to turn to what the underlying causes are. I think there's also a lot of trauma and issues that I have had from my past that I feel like those are gone now. Like where I know that they are there, but I don't. I review them in a different way, in a way that makes me stronger and actually love myself more on from where the journey that I've come from and how much I've changed. They're all pieces of my story, and I can see that now, and in a way that it makes me so much more proud of myself and the work that I've done. And then also, helping chip away at like the things that were stressing me out, these exterior forces um, that were causing anxiety, like actually now having the strength to face them, face your fears, and work through. And so I think those have been some of my biggest wins.
Yeah, those are really big. Also, what would you say? Because you mentioned that one of the things you had struggled with was repeating patterns with toxic men in relationship. How would you say that has shifted for you? Because that's a really big one that a lot of women struggle with. Like they keep that pattern going and going. How do you think that has shifted for you, or has it shifted?
I think it's still a work in progress. I think one of the biggest things is that now I'm able to identify what happened and and see it in a way that's helpful rather than harmful. Knowing that what happened was not my fault and that it wasn't something that should have happened, and allowing myself to not take the blame for it has shifted. And then also giving myself the love, like rather than looking for validation in these toxic places, giving myself that love and, having fulfilling your own needs rather than looking for them elsewhere,
Mhm,
um, is kind of it's a big one for me too. And then boundary setting and knowing who I am and what's important. And I even like the other day I had this breakthrough the other that like it was like talking to a guy that my friend wanted to set me up with, and he's nice, and I looked at it and I can say like, oh wow, he actually has a lot of these qualities that I really am looking for in a guy, right? But then but I noticed that I was like getting nervous about trying to meet him, and like set it up, COVID, my living situation, everything's not quite there for it yet on my end. So my boundary is that I'm not ready right now. And this guy, if he sounds great, sure. But if it's something that's going to work out, then that'll happen when I'm ready. And I know right now that I still have a little bit more work to do
mhm.
before I can be like a really solid partner in a relationship. And I think that is exciting to know that the future actually holds a relationship that's a lot more about love and partnership and taking care of each other and but not taking care of each other's needs. And so I know that I'll be a better partner in the future if I set up these kind of the boundaries.
Mhm. Yeah, it sounds like, and you can let me know if I'm hitting it on the nose, but it sounds like you're just really more in tune with yourself. You're
It's nice to
listening and
play. Pretty.
um
That was a weird
That's okay. We're gonna roll with that. It sounds like you're just really more in tune with yourself, and you're listening and you're honoring yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's been huge for me too is this like trusting myself and my intuition. There were so many times that I was like, as you're sinking through, you're looking to somebody else for guidance, to tell me somebody else to take care of you or to do this. And turning inwards has really just helped getting more in tune with myself and listening to what my needs are rather than having somebody else tell you what they are.
Yeah, no, that's so empowering for you. Um, so mhm, if someone was on the fence, like maybe they've been seeing my posts, or they've been seeing like tapping this, tapping that, tapping circle, and they were like on the fence about like reaching out to me or attending a circle or whatever it is, because it can be a very vulnerable space to be like, hey, I need some help over here. What would you tell this person?
I would say, if you're tired of making the same having if you're tired of the way things are going and you've tried but like you keep falling in the patterns too, because I feel like for me like I've had this awakening and things are going to get better and I have these moments where I'm like moving forward it's going to be like this, and then I fail on that, or and I can't keep it up on my own. You're the support that you need to really break through the walls and the barriers and actually make a meaningful change. So I think people that just aren't that if you're tired of where you're at and you really want to transform, then your program is it's life changing.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's cool to be on this side of it too, right? Because I've been on your side already, right, with myself, and then I had to work on myself first. So then I felt confident to walk you guys through. So it's been a cool experience because I know both sides, right? So it's just a cool experience to be on this side though, because I also understand where you guys are at every moment of the a journey, like, and hitting your head on the wall, repeating patterns, and then when you have those shifts though, it's like you almost are like scared, like, did that really shift? Is it gonna come back? What would you say about that? Like, did you have moments like that? Like, okay, it felt like a shift happened, but did it really? And then you're like looking.
Exactly. Yeah, you'll feel that. And then also being in touch with, I feel like just like the universe so much more too, and synchronicity and seeing signs. Like, even I was thinking, as I was like prepping before our call, and I was kind of thinking about everything and some of the biggest changes, and like, setting up like a routine in the morning has been huge for me too, and getting and establishing that. And then it's all about balance, and balance being so key to hit the like harmony in your life. And this song was on called Balance, and it was funny because it came on right before we jumped on this call, and it was so fitting. And I think it's yeah, it's having these moments that, like, that you're on the right path. It feels good, and you trust in, like, going with the flow a little bit more, and letting things happen, and steering towards the right direction. And so it's been cool. And I think I think it makes it even more fun to wake up in the mornings just knowing that something magical could happen.
At any moment, right? At
Any
any
moment,
moment.
magic is around any corner.
Magic all around. But not like that woo-woo stuff, like it's like real.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So this is cool. You tapped into your flow, you're in tune with the universe. You know what the signs are when you're falling off path to get back on, and you have the tools to get back on path quicker, correct?
Right, yes.
So this is great. Is there anything else you want to share about your journey, your experience, anything at all come to mind? It's okay if not too.
I think that this is, seeing it as a journey, and this being still the first step. I think probably that, life it's gonna be a lifelong journey of healing and growth, and, it's a process. It's something, like, I where I'm at now is great, but things are gonna shift, and throughout time, and it's important to have the tools I have now, but to stay on this path, to keep going with where I'm headed, and stay motivated. Um and I think that's really powerful and important to see the long term, that this isn't just something you can do for 8 weeks and then it's okay, I'm done, I'm better. And it's gonna be a process, and it's a journey, and it's one that now for me is actually something I'm looking forward to. And so that's really big.
Yes, yeah, it is really good. You're right. It is a journey, and it's not like a magic wand, right? Where like, oh, you got 8 weeks and that's the end of life and that's the end of it. This is really about like a lifestyle, right? And having the right tools so then you can create the life that you really love and really want, right? Versus just like kind of bobbing along uh,
Right.
aimlessly, not really knowing what to do or how to get back on track I personally wish I had these tools way long time ago myself. And I'm grateful that I'm able to support you guys and guide you guys through. What would you say, like, what value would you place on your experience so far?
Um, I would say it's I can't imagine not doing it. I have been chatting with a friend before about, quitting drinking, and this was back in November of 2020, and and I was like, I'm gonna wait till January 1st, and do the whole New Year's thing, and and then he was like, wait, maybe you should start before, like maybe at the beginning of December, so you don't have to go through all of the holidays and do all of that. And he was like, then you'll be so much further along. And I ended up, it was that like the beginning of November that after that conversation, I was like, why am I even waiting until then? Like, let's start now. And to look at where I'm at now and imagine if I was just now starting the journey,
Yeah.
it's like I can't even imagine, like the value that I see on the program and all the work that I do, like, I can't imagine going back. I'm so grateful to where I've been, or, where I've come from and where I am now, and building on that. And so, I'm just so glad that I'm where I am now rather than starting now. I'd rather, like, and so the value, it's invaluable, that's something I'm very grateful that's changed my life.
Yeah. Aw, I'm grateful for you too, and I'm so glad you trusted me. And I'm looking forward to the journey ahead. So thank you for sharing your heart with us today and just being open and vulnerable and speaking heart to heart. So I hope you have a really great weekend. If you're watching this and you have any questions, feel free to send a message. And other than that, we hope you're doing well, staying safe in these crazy times, and we hope we can all be together in person soon. So have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.